Welcome. Hey, everybody. It's me, Tanisha O. And welcome to Tea with Tanisha O. How y'all doing tonight? I hope that y'all are great. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday, beautiful people. Listen, y'all, I'm going to dive right into our conversation today. Hey, everybody. I'm Tanisha O. I'm the founder of the Forgiveness Lifestyle Movement. I'm a forgiveness coach. I help people discover all of these emotional blocks, these emotional blind spots that they have. They think that they're struggling in business because they're lazy and they procrastinate and they beat themselves up, but it's not that at all. It's unforgiveness. Unforgiveness is at the source and the core of any issue you have right now. Think about it. What's one problem you have right now? Honestly, take a moment. What's vexing you? What is bothering you the most right now? I promise that unforgiveness is at the core of it. That's where I step in to support you. So, welcome, y'all. Let's dive into this conversation. Yes, I'm an author and speaker and corporate trainer and all that good stuff, but welcome, y'all. Listen, forgiveness requires you to acknowledge your pain. You know how often you're hurting and people tell you it's not that serious. You shouldn't be upset. You're okay. It's not that big of a deal. Don't worry about it. And they dismiss your pain. They don't even want you to feel it. And a lot of times that's about how people feel. So I'm gonna tell y'all, this morning I was frustrated. I was struggling this morning. I got up and of course I was grateful. I thank God for the day and everything, but I got in the shower and my mind just began wandering about everything that was going on in my life. Not even a pity party, but just like a lot of things happening, right? And tears began to roll down my eyes. And I was like, oh, man, when do things shift? I'm just having this internal conversation with myself. And I got out of the shower. My husband was still sleeping, but I began talking to him. And as I began talking, tears just rolled down my eyes. And I'm really grateful that we've grown beyond the place where my husband feels like, and I understand as men, you want to fix things for your wives, but it's not about fixing. Sometimes it's just about being present and hearing and acknowledging whatever it is that your wife is saying, right? And so this morning he just listened. He was like, well, what do you need right now? Like, what can we do right now? What can happen? And so he and I began talking, and even though he was sleeping, he really acknowledged and he stayed present with me. And so we talked about it. And it wasn't by chance that the conversation today was forgiveness is acknowledging your pain, because here's the deal. Too often you feel frustrated, you feel sad, you feel lonely, you feel whatever you feel. And most people are like, snap out of it, get over it. Nope, you're fine. And you need a moment to process. Because if you don't process whatever emotions, I'm not talking about staying in a pity party. And sometimes you may sit in it a little bit longer than others, right? But I'm not saying stay in a pity party, but I am saying acknowledge where you are and don't allow other people to tell you what you feel is not valid. Like, you all right. It ain't that bad. You'll be okay. No, other people don't get to decide for you what you feel. You have to decide for you what you feel. You have to acknowledge your pain and your frustration. You have to acknowledge those things. I thought I'd clean y'all up a little bit in Facebook land. You have to acknowledge your pain. And so for me today, I didn't have a pity party. It was just a moment. And so I processed what I was feeling. And interestingly enough, as I processed it, God gave me clear instructions on what to do. And I was like, all right, so I processed it, acknowledged it. I picked up the phone and called a good girlfriend. Everybody should have a good girlfriend that you can call and they listen without trying to fix your problem. They listen and ask you really good questions to help you process what's going on. And they allow you to be you. And you're that friend to them too, right? So I called one of my good girlfriends and we walked through it, and she, asked questions, and she was like, walking me through whatever it was, very present with me. And once I was finished, I had a client call, so I didn't have time to really process. I was like, let me just grab a cup of tea and keep it moving. And so I say all that to say, how many times have you woken up with something on your mind and you really needed to give yourself the grace to process through whatever emotions it was? It could have been forgiveness, and or not that you realize, because everything surrounds forgiveness. However, you suppressed that emotion. You didn't even give yourself a chance or the grace to feel the pain, to feel the frustration, because you were like, I ain't got time for this. You know, my life is too blessed. I'm too blessed to be stressed. All those phrases are great. They sound good, but the people who say them the most sometimes feel the most frustrated because you're suppressing and ignoring. The fact that you acknowledge how you feel in a moment does not mean that you are not grateful for where you are. It doesn't mean that you aren't blessed. It doesn't mean that you are not highly favored. It doesn't mean any of those things. It just means that you are being present with yourself to process how you feel. Because when you suppress your emotions and you ignore how you feel, guess what's going to happen? What's going to happen is when your children come to you sad or feeling emotional about something, you are going to suppress their emotions. You're going to tell them, get over it. You all right. You okay. Well, maybe they aren't. When your husband comes to you talking to you about something, he had a tough day, you're not even going to be able to give him the grace and being present in the moment with him because you're too busy telling him, you all right, go on about it. You know, you fine, you man, you tough. People need the grace. And so until you allow yourself that grace and understanding of forgiveness to process and to work through various emotions of your own, you will never, ever, ever, ever be able to give it to anybody else. You can't. It's impossible. This is something that you have to practice on yourself first. Forgiveness is something you got to try on for yourself first. Make sure it fits. See how you get comfortable in it. All right. Are you snug? You're good. All right. And then you're able to give it to somebody else. You're not giving forgiveness to anybody else beforehand. Listen, you have to fill up your own cup. And forgiveness comes in moments like I had this morning when I was feeling sad and when I was feeling frustrated and when I was feeling overwhelmed and when all of the things and the weight of everything that was swirling through my mind just dropped on me at one time. I had to give myself the grace of forgiveness. And I had to take a moment to process and allow myself to process where I was. And so, where are you? Where are you in your life and in a place and in a phase where you actually need to give yourself the grace to acknowledge how you feel? You need to pause long enough to say, it's going to be all right. Or you're frustrated right now. And why are you frustrated right now? Give yourself that gift so that you can grow through it. That's what I got for y'all. I love y'all so much. I genuinely do. And I pray that you continue to allow yourself to forgive and heal and grow through whatever it is you're growing through. But I promise nothing is going to change until you acknowledge the pain. All of the pain that you're suppressing, all of the memories that you're ignoring. And you can listen to me every day. You can cut it off every time I say it. Like, it don't take all that. No problem. But you're the person who's in pain, not me. You're the person who's struggling. I'm working through it. So when I run across people who are mean, who are curt, who are short, who are rude, who are just, especially those people in church. I find it more so with the people who are in church. You've already told me who you are. You're showing me your hand. Every time I run across somebody who's nasty with their actions, the ruder you are and the nastier you are, all you're doing is showing me the level of pain that you're in. You're showing me your hand. You think that it's because I don't feel like being bothered. I don't like people. Okay. How do you not like people when you're a person? So every time I hear that, you're only telling me that you don't like yourself. You're not happy with where you are. Some of y'all may say, T, it's not that. It's exactly that. You're a person. You don't like people. You're a person. You don't like people. You're a person. You don't like people. It's just me and God, really. But that's why God put people, because God sends his gifts, God sends his blessings, God sends his overflow and all those things through people. When you give yourself the grace, that's when you begin to connect, understand, and love people. And the only way to connect and understand and love people is to connect and understand yourself. The best way to do that is to believe in yourself. I love y'all. I'm going to see y'all soon. Ciao.